Welcome to Deep Naked Thoughts with Val
Hi.
and
I'm
Jenny.
so excited.
All right, everyone, this is my best friend, Jennifer Whitmer. I am so excited to have her. I am so nervous. I was like, Jenny, what is your name? Like, forget her name. We've been friends since we were in high school, but I was like, is it two N's? Is it two F's? It's two something, right? Like, what is going on? I was so nervous for this interview. Okay, so let me introduce her. So, my friend Jennifer, she is a psychologist, she is an entrepreneur, she is a foodie, she is a travel blogger. She is also just started a new project, which we will talk about at the very end. I cannot tell you now. It's a secret. It's top secret, confidential
Yeah, stay till the
information.
end.
Yeah, you gotta stay till the end. But Jenny, how would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Well, my name is Jenny, Eni, if you want to know how it's spelled. I have been best friends with Val since 2010, which is crazy. Honestly, I'm just figuring out my life. I have been traveling a lot over the last 10 years. Let's see, we're in 2015. Yeah, last 10 years ish. Lived in Florida for about 5 years. Technically 7 on and off, but consecutively, I lived there for 5 years. And originally from New Mexico, just like Val is. And I currently live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Moved here last year in July of 2024. And I just became a real estate agent. So as of May, I have had my license and
Mhm.
I'm trying to figure out my career, where my little place in life is. I'm trying to figure out how to express my voice, how to tap into being an artist, and so on and so forth. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. So, first of all, I'm so happy for Riverside because out of all the people I've interviewed, it's like, man, we finally got Jenny on the podcast. So, Jenny, when you were far away in your travels, in your travels, it's like you're like in Egypt or the Saharan desert when you were away in your travels. I'd always say like my best friend Jenny, my best friend Jenny, my best friend Jenny, and you were like she's in North Carolina right now. She's in Florida right now. She just came back, but she's leaving again. So I always looked up to you in a sense that you always went for it. You always did the thing. And today I want to talk about alignment and knowing when you're aligned, when you're not aligned, and like how do you know? Because I feel like at this point I have like I don't want to say the secret, but like I know when I'm tapped in. I'm like, oh, like I feel it. So, kind of like, how did you know you had to leave your hometown, especially when you did? And just tell us a little bit about yourself. For example, Jenny did the Disney College program, and that was the first time that I was like, girl, I see you. Like, I see you chasing dreams. Like, I see you doing the thing. Like, I see you leaving and going somewhere else. And at the same time, I feel like all of us have like our place and we are where we need to be at that point in our lives. And I genuinely feel like I needed to be here. There was things I still had to learn where I was at that time. But I was like, dang, homegirl's going to Florida. Like, what did that experience teach you? And yeah, what did that experience teach you about yourself? Tell us about the Disney College program.
Yeah. Well, first off, I do want to say I think it's fine that you wanted to stay in New Mexico a little bit longer than I did. Somebody at an old job that I had told me this saying, and I actually really love it. And it's grow where you're planted.
Hmm.
And when he was saying that, he was referring to a new job that I was starting. And a lot of time, so the job that I was at, this was Disney Cruise Line. I was on the phones. And so anytime you call that 1-800 number, I might have been the person that you talked to. And so in the Disney Cruise Line, when you're on the phones, you have opportunities to move up pretty frequently and easily. And he was telling everybody who he was training in that job, like, if you have the opportunity to apply for some of those promotions, like, go for it. But if you don't get it right away, don't get down on yourself. Just bloom where you're planted and like take it from there. It doesn't mean anything about you and your abilities. It just might not be your time at that point, and that's okay. But, anyways, to answer your question, I would say my longing for travel came at a pretty young age. My dad is from Indiana and my mom is from New Mexico, and they met when they were in the Navy. So obviously my dad did a lot of travel just being in the Navy itself. He was a signalman.
Hmm.
So he went to places like Greece. He went to a lot of the Caribbean. And
Mhm.
he told me about all of the funny adventures that he had whenever he was in the Navy. And then on top of that, because at that time, I lived in New Mexico because that's where I was born and raised, we would go to visit his side of the family, which lives in Indiana, like I said. And I remember I would go to Indiana and I would just be bewildered because there's like trees and grass and water, which is like not that uncommon,
In the
but we're
desert
from
where
the
we live.
desert.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, so for me, I was like, "Wow, this is gorgeous. Like, this is
Mhm,
beautiful." And I just remember growing up thinking like, "I don't think I wanna stay in New Mexico." And I love New Mexico. Like, it's
mhm,
home. Every time I'm there, I feel so welcomed. I feel like all the warm and fuzzies, and I am just so excited to be back with my family. And it honestly, it genuinely is such a beautiful place. Like, it's such a great place for hiking and nature spots and stuff like that. But I just knew I didn't want to be there. And so I didn't know how. I just knew I was going to try and get out of Las Cruces as soon as possible.
mhm,
And I've told Val this story before, but I used to work with somebody at the local Applebee's in New Mexico, and they had done the Disney College program. And during a conversation that we were having while we were rolling silverware, she told me about it. And in my head, I remember thinking, like, oh my God, that would be so fun. That has me written all over it. But
mhm,
I was dating somebody at the time. And so I just thought to myself, okay, maybe one day. Mm. And then a few relationships later, I had just broken up with a different person. And I realized that that would be a perfect opportunity. So I just applied on a whim and I
mhm,
ended up getting in. And did my first college program in 2017. And then I did a second one in 2018. So
mhm,
that kind of like ignited the fire. And then that's when I met my fiance. I met him on the Disney College program. He's from North Carolina. So honestly, like a lot of travel opportunities just kind of came naturally because him and I did do long distance for a while.
mhm,
So because of the fact that we had to figure out a way to be together, it just kind of worked out that the travel ended up happening.
mhm. Wow, that was
Yeah,
amazing.
sorry.
I'm
That
really
was like a
glad that
really long answer.
No, that was really good because I feel like you took us through, like, the how it happened because, like, of your parents and kinda having that, like, seed planted at a very young age and seeing, like, a plethora of, like, sceneries from a really young age, which kinda reminded me of my childhood because my dad was an architect in Mexico, and he traveled a bunch, and then my mom we lived in Mexico City when I was growing up, and so we traveled a bunch, and then we didn't move into the US until I was 9 years old, but I had a lot of experiences living in Mexico in different places. And so when I moved to the US, I knew like there's a whole world out there. And then I traveled a lot because of sports, but I know like there's a whole world out there like just waiting to be seen and come to like discover you in high school. Whenever I would sit down and have like big dream conversations, you were always my go-to person. So, like, whenever I would sit down and just, like, have, like, a really, like an idea, like, I remember one day on the bus, we were thinking, like, "We should do, like, a girls' trip to Europe, and we should go to Paris." And
Yeah.
then, like, or one of our
We
favorite
still want
shows
to
is,
make
like
that happen.
yeah, is Emily in Paris, and so it's funny because when I think about big travel, big dreams, like, you are probably, like, one of the first people, like, I touch base with because I don't wanna say it makes me feel less crazy, but I'm like, I'm not crazy for, wanting these
Wanting.
things, and then also, like, my best friend is out here doing these things, and if other people can, I can too. So, just in that friendship and then seeing you evolve and seeing you do the thing, I'm like, "Damn, homegirl's out here doing the thing." So, you've
Yeah.
inspired me so much in that way. So, today I specifically wanna talk about alignment and being aligned and how you know when you are in alignment. So, I wanna share my thoughts, but I want you to share your thoughts on what you think alignment is and how you know when you're aligned and when you're not aligned with your vision or purpose or goal.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get real woo-woo here for a second.
Yes,
um,
let's do it.
so I don't think I can necessarily pinpoint a time or place when I started getting into spirituality. I was born and raised Catholic, and I mean, I feel like I grew up in a pretty open household when it came to religion in some ways. Not always, but some ways. So like for example, my stepdad was really interested in astrology and I remember him and I would talk about it sometimes.
Mhm.
And then my step family, like I would have really deep conversations about spirituality and like existence and stuff like that. And then once I got to college, I remember I went through this phase where I like would follow a bunch of spiritual people on Twitter.
Okay.
And which was like, I don't know, I look back on that journey sometimes and I'm like people were putting some weird stuff on there, but I mean, it is what it is. I kind of started getting close to like my relationship in that way. Can you hear me? Because my microphone's like freaking out over here
No, I can
on
hear
the.
you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. The
Yeah, I can
light
hear you.
was blinking, so I didn't know. But anyways, so like I said, started following some people on Twitter that were like spiritual. Started listening to podcasts that were spirituality oriented and stuff like that. And I started getting into meditation. And
Mhm.
so it's a practice that I honestly need to do better at maintaining consistency with, but I still enjoy meditation to this day.
Mhm.
And I think when I hear the word align, I think of chakras, just like making sure that each chakra is open, which I don't know if like how deep you want to get into that, but
Mhm.
I that's like one of the methods that I use is just like asking myself questions of like what each chakra pertains to. So like your heart chakra, that's usually like how you like it's how you relate to people, to love, to opening
Mhm.
yourself up to opportunities. Or the throat chakra, that's one of mine that's closed a lot. And the throat chakra has to do with speaking out, letting your voice be heard. And so I'll ask myself these questions. There's actually a quiz that I like to use online to see like where I'm feeling in certain areas of my life. And if you're
Mhm.
not a spiritual person, like that's perfectly fine. You could still ask yourself those questions because you're still dealing with those different areas of your life, right? Like how confident you feel to speak your voice, how easy it is for you to open up your heart to love, how easy it is for you to open up with your sexuality in a healthy way, and so on and
Mhm.
so forth. And
Mhm.
so for me, I kind of like to use those to be like a reference point so that I
Mhm.
can tune into my internal life. I would say also just listening to my gut, because I think over the years, as time has gone on, I've had certain life experiences where I didn't listen to my gut and then I faced the consequences. And then there's other experiences where I did listen to my gut and I'm like, that went so smoothly because I trusted
Yeah.
myself and I trusted
Yeah.
what I was feeling on the inside. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like that was kind of all over the place, but
No, no, no. I really so I'm gonna try to also relate back to it and kind of like share my experience and kind of like how it overlaps a little bit and like what you are saying. So when I think of alignment, I think of like doing the thing that you want to do because you're gonna do it well. And so I've been really lucky that I have an amazing life and amazing leaders and amazing friends who do the thing and they're I feel like aligned with their purpose. So for example, like my coach from a very young age, I saw like you can get paid for doing martial arts. You can get paid for teaching other people martial arts. You can own a business and a school and people will give you money and give you like trust with their kids and like here teach my kid like they will like give you their kids and that's like a lot of responsibility to like give somebody your kids but I'm like okay like doing the thing and making sure that's the thing you want to do or like my art teacher, I think she taught me always find beauty in like everything. Even pain, like there's beauty in the pain. There's beauty in becoming. And like she's like, right now I feel called to teach art and teach others about art. And I was like, oh, she's like, maybe in 2 years I'm gonna be called to like, I don't know, lead a school and be a school principal or like maybe open up my own business or open up a gallery. But right now I just wanna paint and paint with kids. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And so same thing when I see you, I was like, my best friend right now feels called or she's aligned with like she wants to do the Disney program and there's something there for her and she can get paid for it. Like there's a way for her to do the thing. And I feel like
Mhm.
when you're aligned, the thing becomes easy because you're like on the path. Like there's no resistance because you're aligned. It's like, yes, there might be
Yeah.
obstacles like growing pains. Like you don't just naturally become a business owner. You don't just naturally like wake up in Florida. Like you have to do steps to get there, but because it's like the thing you wanna do, it's becomes there's like less barrier to entry. It's like, oh, you're kind of like on the path. So when I knew I wasn't aligned is when I went to grad school. When I was an undergrad, I loved it. I think I was like hyper fixated on that period of my time life. Like I was so excited about classes and learning and doing research and like I loved this so much. It was so easy, like, grad school no, yeah, undergrad was so easy, but grad school, because I didn't wanna do it, I was like, "No, like, I don't really feel like that it's time for this," or, "I don't really feel like I wanna do this, like, I need to
Mhm.
go do something else," but I forced myself to do it. It was, like, one of the hardest things I ever had to do
Mhm.
because there was so much resistance. I just was like, "No, like, this is not the thing, like, this is not it." Like, I'm doing it, and I can, and I'm applying myself, but, like, "Why am I doing this?" kinda thing. And so that's when I
Yeah.
knew it's like that's when I knew, like, what alignment was and what it felt like, and what alignment
Yeah.
wasn't and what it felt like. And it was kinda like that thing that you were saying was, like, trust your gut.
Mhm.
So,
Well, and
right
I think oh, sorry.
No, 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 go ahead.
I was just gonna piggyback off of that. I was gonna say, I think that's something that I wanna highlight a little bit to people who might be listening to this and think like, "Oh my gosh, like, I just need to, like, do everything that I love." And it's like, "Okay, that's great, like, keep doing the things that you love."
Mhm.
But I think it's okay to challenge yourself to do something that you might not feel aligned to do because you are going to learn the lesson of what you do like and what you don't like. And finding out
Yeah.
what you don't like is just as important as finding out what you do like, because that's going to provide a visual for what you
Mhm.
want to have in your life. And it's going to
Mhm.
give you a roadmap to the people that you want to hang out with, to the things you want to learn about, to the career you want to have, to how you want to spend your free time, and so on and so forth. So I think it's okay to try new things and like push yourself and challenge yourself to do something like that, because even if it's not exactly what was meant for you on your life path, it still brings you life experience. And so just
Mhm.
kind of like trusting in the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, or in
Mhm.
yourself, like that
Mhm.
everything's going to work out. Even if it doesn't look exactly the way that you want it to look, you're always going to have a really good set of life experiences, and that creates wisdom, and that's going to make you
Yeah.
feel more confident moving forward, which is what your 20s is all about. Like you got to keep stumbling and falling so that you can feel confident by the time you get to your 30s or each year that you get older.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's one thing that I've learned is that everything is a learning lesson. Everything is experience. Everything is teaching you something. So I try to reframe a lot of my mind of like, grad school wasn't that terrible. I'm like, well, it wasn't our happiest times, but I did learn a lot. I learned what I didn't like. I learned what I didn't want to do. I learned that just because I can, like just because I am capable of doing something doesn't mean I don't wanna say the most qualified, but the best person to, like, be nominated for it. Like, Val can do
Mm,
it. She probably doesn't wanna do it though. Like, so, I did get, like, a lot of data. Um, so I completely agree with you on that everything is a learning experience, everything is teaching you something, even the parts that you don't like. With that said, our 20s have been quite the roller coaster, and I am just so happy and thankful because I had you in high school and, like, we did that, and I have a lot of pictures of us growing up, so I literally can see, like, the evolution of us. And then we had a lot of classes in college, so it was really cool because we still kept that connection. And then even after you move, we rekindle our friendship, and we've had each other for almost like a decade and a half now. So that's really cool. So would you tell little Jenny, like, hey, this is who I am now, and this is the venture that I'm on? And also, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, I'm my own boss. Like, I make
mhm.
my own schedule. I see my own clients. Like, that's like pretty cool. That's really, really cool. Oh, and also I've moved to like 3 different states, 4 states in like less than 10 years. Could you believe that?
Honestly, I mean, some things yet. I don't know. Again, like I knew I was gonna go somewhere other than New
Mhm,
Mexico. So in some ways it's like, okay, like I knew that was gonna happen. But in other
mhm,
ways, like whenever I applied for the Disney college program, you can choose between California and Florida. And at first I was considering California, but then I was like, you know what, Jenny, like let life just like be an adventure. Like go for something that
mhm,
somewhere you've never been before. Go explore something like I don't know what's in Florida, but I just want to see what is out there. And
mhm.
again, that's where I met my fiance, so like it all worked out in that area, but like I never imagined that I would live in North Carolina for a semester. I never
Mhm.
imagined I would live in Tennessee. I wanted to live in Colorado cuz Colorado is close to New Mexico.
Yes,
But
and we talked about that. You're like, "Girl, you
yeah,
do wanna move to Colorado with me?" And I'm like, "Yes."
I literally it's so funny because I didn't realize how much I talked about it, but I was talking about it to my cousin the other day, and she was saying that I told her that too. I'm like, "Dang, I'm just trying to recruit everybody, like, come on over here." But
Yeah.
you know what? I'm kinda glad that I didn't because I'll keep an eye on the weather, and so when
Mhm.
my fiance and I first moved here, I would look at the weather and be like, "Dang, it's, 2 degrees in Colorado." I'm like, "I'm kinda glad we didn't go there because like, our first winter here in Tennessee was brutal for us because we lived in
Mhm,
Florida, and
mhm,
I lived in New Mexico, and he's from North Carolina, and North Carolina can get cold, but, like, I don't know. Yeah, so it's just kinda interesting interesting because I feel like sometimes life will take care of those things for you where it's like,
mhm.
girl, you're not gonna like it there. Let's reroute and, like, figure
Yeah,
this out."
yeah. So I'm gonna pull out a lot of terms, but these are the conversations that Jenny and I have, okay? So don't judge me. But frequency. So we're gonna talk about alignment again because you and I are on a mission and we've been working on a secret project. So you have to stay tuned so you know what the
Yeah.
secret project is. But frequency, what do you think about when I say the word frequency and like high frequency and low frequency? And
Mhm.
I think all of us have that because I think sometimes I'm way up here and then there's days where I'm like down here and I'm like, I should just like
Yeah.
later. But what do you think of the word frequency?
Yeah. So again, I'm not afraid to be a woo-woo person. I have always been into like psychics and crystals and astrology and like I am that girl who will do your birth chart. I'm not the best at it, but I'll look through it just cuz it's fun for me. And so in that regard, I love just learning about energy when it comes to spirituality. However, in most recent years, I have read a lot of books that talk about quantum physics and the reticular activating system,
Mhm,
which, if you don't know, it is your brain's way of looking for information to confirm what it's seeing around it. And
mhm,
so you've probably seen videos of it on TikTok, especially if maybe this might be a clip that's circling around TikTok right now and you're seeing it. But if you haven't, like I said, it's just confirmation bias, basically. So you will look for things in your reality to confirm what your narration is, basically. So if you're just a negative person and you're somebody who's like, oh my God, like this stuff always happens to me. I
mhm,
always have a clumsy day, or people are always mad at me, or this, or that, you are going to start looking for the things around you that confirm that messaging in your brain. And essentially,
mhm,
you create your own reality. And
mhm,
so, a lot of people who aren't really into spirituality, they like to kind of knock it and be like, oh, well, manifestation isn't real, frequency isn't real, or alignment isn't real. Like, that's just a bunch of nonsense. But scientifically, there have been so many studies done that is true and accurate. And when I
mhm.
think about that, I think like, wow, what an amazing opportunity because I can basically brainwash myself into success if I wanted to. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
So
absolutely.
I'm not the most positive person. Like I have my moments. Like
Mm,
don't get me wrong. Like Val and
mhm,
I had a very raw moment yesterday. Life is lifing and that's okay.
mhm,
But trying to bring myself back, trying to
mhm.
always recalibrate and remind myself like, okay, this is a bad day, not a bad life. This is a bad
Yes.
moment, not a bad life. And I can through it. The only way out is through sometimes, and I am strong enough to handle this.
Yeah. So just following up with what you said, I know that so yes, manifestation is real. and there's science to prove it because what is it? Self-confirming, or you said the term, but it's like
Confirmation bias.
confirmation bias is a term in psychology, but basically, yes, like you said, you want to prove yourself to be right. Like everybody is programmed, their brain is like, we want to be right. We want to be right, even if it's bad. So I know that it's real because of self sabotage. People will self sabotage to be right. Like, "Ugh, this job is just not going to work out, and everything could be perfect, but you will like mess up or you will self sabotage yourself in order to be right. Like, I knew it. This job just wasn't gonna work out. Like, I just knew it wasn't gonna work out. And it's like, well, because you said it wasn't gonna work out and you didn't want it to work out. So you made it. You made it not work out. Like you sabotaged it so that it wouldn't, so that you could be right. So like I know manifestation is real. But dude, I just lost my train of thought. But that was so brilliant. That
Yeah.
was so brilliant.
No, we're talking about reticular activating system, confirmation bias, alignment,
Yes.
frequency. I don't know
Alignment,
if any of that's like
frequency.
jogging anything back.
Yes, it actually it did. But with frequency, so how do you gauge like friendships or people you want to talk about? Or like, do you ever like, oh my gosh, this is like a low frequency kind of person? Or like, oh my gosh, like this person is like I was down here and now I'm up here. Like I can do this. Like,
Mhm.
do you keep tabs of that? Or like, I don't know, is that one way you like determine friendships? Because it certainly is for me. Like, for example, I talk to you a lot because it's like I could have a bad day and you're gonna be like, well, dude, feel it, like feel it. And then like we gotta move on. Like we gotta keep going. Like, and so you're not like, no, don't feel it. Oh, like, no, don't feel sad. Or like, no, like, don't cry. It's like, nah, like let it out. But then we gotta like reframe, like, what are we gonna do now? What did we learn? And so
Right.
it's a lot about shifting and raising our frequency like often. So is
Yeah.
that one strategy you use with people or when making friendships? Like how do you use frequency to your advantage?
Yeah. Well, there's this quote, I think Beyonce said it. I'm gonna butcher it. I don't remember the exact wording, but something along the lines of like you're allowed to be emotional for like 5 minutes or something like that. And then the rest of your day, like you gotta just girl boss and keep moving forward. And I feel like that's something that I like to use for myself. Like I over the years have come to find that if I do not process my emotions, I will bottle them up. So it's important for me to like let it all out and let myself cry, let myself be angry, let myself be XYZ negative emotion so that
Mhm.
it's not stuck inside of me and I can move forward and do my best. Because
Mm.
there's a difference between allowing yourself to process the emotion and then
Mhm.
dwelling on the emotion. So that's
Yes.
one thing
Yes.
that I like to do for myself. And then to answer your question about like frequency or patterns and like taking note of what other people do, I would say I definitely do that, but I think it's become more of a subconscious thing for me now. It's not
Mhm.
something that I really have to work hard at anymore because I have gone to therapy and I do have a degree in psychology. And so I do know a lot of the patterns. And again, I listen to a lot of podcasts about mental health and things like that. And so it's kind of just become second nature where, like, if somebody is negative all the time, I won't be rude to them or anything like that. Like, I'm always kind and I always try to be cordial and friendly with people, but I just kind of make a mental note of like, okay, like that person's probably going to be a little bit more of an acquaintance. Um,
Yeah.
Sometimes they prove me wrong. Sometimes they
Mhm.
show some more positives aspects to them. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give that a second chance. I don't want to be so judgmental and just completely write them off. So there's that. Self talk is like a really big one. And actually, this is something that I say to a lot of my friends who, like, if they do fall into that trap where they're like, I'm such an idiot or whatever, I'm like, please don't talk crap about my friend. If you do, I'm gonna beat
Yeah.
you up.
Yeah.
And
You
like
gotta
jokingly,
say it.
obviously.
Yeah.
But like you believe the words that you say about yourself. And I don't want to
Mhm.
surround myself with somebody who is going to be negative like that all the time. And you wouldn't want that
Mhm.
for me either. So just kind of calling them out in that funny and loving way. Because we're none of us are perfect. Like we all have our flaws, and none of us are always going to be on that high frequency level. But just kind of looking out for those little things. And then I would say the other thing too is I've had to learn my lesson the hard way because I have had
Mhm.
a lot of friendships that were negative, and blew up, and like they just were not a nice person. And I'm sending them all the love in the world. Like because I did see who they were and I saw their soul. And I really hope that they are learning and doing better and becoming the best version of themselves. But unfortunately, I had to go through a lot of situations with certain friends who were not very kind to me, who were bullies, who, as soon as I tried to communicate and call them out on certain behaviors, not to be mean or rude or anything, just to be communicative, they just completely became defensive and turned it around and like turned their back on me. And so
Mhm.
now that I've gotten older and I've had that life experience, I've been able to kind of see those signs and
Mhm.
just not cut off the person completely because I don't ever want to be that judgmental, but just keep that mental note in the back of my head and be like, okay, I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious with them and the things that I say
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I like to do, especially when I encounter people that tend to use more negative language, and I do take data on that. People will be like, "Oh my God, Val's taking data on my words." Yes. No, just kidding.
I was
Um,
telling Val the other day, I was like, whenever I start when I, because in college I had a few different majors. And so when I finally declared my major to be psychology, my uncle was asking me about it. He's like, "So what's your major now?" And I was like, "Oh, psychology." And he's like, "So you're diagnosing me right now?" And in my head, I was like, "Maybe. I don't know. It's
No,
possible."
but language really does say a lot about a person. The way you speak about yourself can't. I don't believe in this, or I don't believe in myself, or who's gonna buy my art, or like no one's gonna want to see this. I'm like, well, not with that attitude. Or like even the way they talk about people.
Mhm,
The way they talk about people. If they talk about people, they're gonna talk about you. So like that's a mental flag for me. I'm like, okay, well, like I already know what kind of person you are, you know? So if they talk about others, they're gonna talk about you. So I would be cautious what I say around those kinds of people. Be like, oh, okay, like wow, I didn't know that about that person. I didn't need to know that, but
mhm.
thanks for
Yeah.
sharing. And I'm like, I'm gonna probably not share information with you because you're doing them dirty, you're gonna do me dirty. Oh, yeah. Would you say that your psychology degree has helped you a lot in like the opportunities that you've had? I mean, I think right now you just opened up a lot about friendships and taking mental note of like friend, acquaintance, and like categorizing people, friend,
Mhm.
acquaintance, family, share a little bit. So like kind of knowing how to trust. Has that also
Mhm.
helped you in career?
Yeah, so career-wise, I don't necessarily know if my degree in psychology has helped. Well, okay. I will say this. I think my degree in psychology has helped me in the sense of understanding people better and just like the
Okay.
baseline understanding of how people think, how the connections in the brain are made, things like that. But I actually think that my I say success in my career and I'm not already where I want to be. I do want to say that. I'm still a work in progress and that is 100% okay. So when I say success, I just mean like my relationships and how I deal with people and my professionalism and things like that.
Mm,
Because although I am a real estate agent now, I also have a part-time job. You know, I'm trying to figure out how to support myself and to get this career off the ground. So, anyways, what I was trying to get at is I feel like I've learned the things that I need to do to be a professional person and to have success in my relationships professionally with people through my firsthand experience. I've had a lot of different jobs over the years, mostly because I've moved around a lot. A lot of them were like it I wouldn't say internship related because technically Disney College Program isn't an internship, but you know, again, I had a many variety because I did this Disney College Program. Then I came back to New Mexico, then I did the Disney College Program again. Then I lived in North Carolina for a semester. Then I came back to Florida and then I was trying to figure out my life there. I did like health things, personal trainer things, wellness coach things, and then I decided that wasn't for me and then I went back to Disney. And then after that, I moved here. So, because of all of the different jobs that I've had and the different types of careers that I've had, I've learned so many valuable lessons about how to ask for a raise, the right way and
mhm,
the wrong way to do it, because I have done both. How to present yourself, how to dress professionally, how to connect with people and
mhm,
communicate about your needs in a way that isn't insulting, that isn't rude. And again, I made a lot of mistakes, but because of that, I am now in a much better place because of that life experience.
Mhm. I'm gonna ask you a question, and I want you to think about it because I want the audience to take definitely as much as they can from us, but I particularly want you to give them one psychology tip or one psychology trick or something that's like when in doubt, I don't know,
Mm,
like fill in the blank. So something that the audience can have. I'm gonna share mine. I'm gonna give you some time to think about it.
okay.
But one thing that ABA has taught me, and this is applied behavior analysis, when in doubt, look at people's actions. So you can have a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, but at the end of the day, you are what you do. So when in doubt, look at people's actions. Like somebody could say like I love you, but then they lie about you or they lie to you or they cheat on you. It's like, "Oh, I love you, but I'm going to steal money from you." It's like, "Wow, like you're saying this, but you're doing this." So like when in doubt, actions speak louder than words. Follow the behavior. So that is like
Yeah.
my go-to psychology tip. I'm like, words are cheap. You can talk all day. I want to see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what is your psychology hack go-to? Like,
I'm laughing because I have mine too. So I should have just been like, you give it to me. And then I'm like, okay. Okay.
talk to us,
Sorry.
Jenny. I
We're
want to know.
geeking over our new technology.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say one and you're going to be all excited because I've said this
Okay.
to you before. Follow the why.
Tell me, Jenny.
I love this one. Okay. So when I started going to therapy, which I'm not going at the moment, but I'm probably going to start up again soon. I don't know when, I don't know what type, but probably soon. Anyways, I previously went to therapy for, I want to say like 2 to 3 years. And I learned a lot about cognitive behavioral therapy, which is CBT for short. And basically, what that is, when you have a thought, like an anxious thought or an uncomfortable thought, or you have a problem going on in your life, or whatever the case may be, asking yourself a series of questions so that you can reframe that thought and basically rewire that message that you have in your brain. So, for example, one of the core beliefs that I have that I still struggle with to this day, and I'm getting better and better at, but again, it's still a work in progress, is no matter how hard I try, it's never enough or I'm never enough. And over the course of the last few years, I really had to rewire that messaging in my brain and remind myself that my worth and my value is not built on how I perform for other people and what I'm doing and my actions. It's already there because I'm a human being, because I was given life. So I'm already worthy enough of receiving respect. I'm already worthy enough of receiving honesty and trustworthiness and all of the wonderful things that this life has to offer. So I don't need to
Mhm,
do anything in order to earn that. And so that's just one example of something that I've gone through. But when Val and I, so like she said earlier, we kind of had a period of time where we didn't really speak that much and it wasn't anything bad. It's just life got in the way. We both lived far
mhm,
away. And then I came back to New Mexico in 2021 to visit her. And after that, we started Snapchatting each other almost every single day. And we still
mhm,
do to this day. And so her and I will have conversations whenever we have time. And through some of the struggles that she went through, she was having a hard time, like, getting to the bottom of some of the thoughts that she was having. So I told
mhm.
her, like, follow the whys. So we'll give another example. I'm trying to think of like a
Jenny's
thought,
like
like,
not exposing me right now. She's like, let's not talk about that story.
I'm not gonna give your examples because I don't want to like throw you under the bus or anything, but I'm trying to think of like another example of something I struggle with. So like let's say I'm also trying not to think of current struggles because I don't want to throw other people in my life under the bus. Okay, let's just think of like a random person. We'll call her Joan. Okay, so
Hey,
Joan, she has a problem with communication with her boyfriend.
hey.
And her boyfriend doesn't really like want to give her the time of day, and anytime they do argue with each other, he just blows up. So you would ask Joan, okay, well, why is he blowing up? Well, he's blowing up because I am going out on the weekends and partying and not coming home till 3 in the morning. Okay, well, why are you going out every weekend and partying till 3 in the morning? Well, because I want to have fun after a long, hard work week and I feel like I deserve it. Okay, well, why are you having a long, hard work week? Well, because this is the only job that's going to get me the money that I need. And so I am putting as much time and energy as I can into that work week. Okay, well, why are you doing that? Because I need to provide for myself. I need to pay my bills. And honestly, like, it's a good distraction from my feelings. Okay, well, why is it a distraction from your feelings? And is there another way? Is there an alternative solution? Can you find a different job? Is there another way that you can go about this? And so basically just kind of continuing on with those whys until you get to the very root of the issue. And usually that root of the issue is that core belief of no matter how hard I try, it's never enough. So that could be a really good example of you finally getting to that point where you're like, oh, okay, that's what I need to re-message to myself. So now, anytime I have that thought of no matter how hard I try, I'm never enough, I am going to make a mental note of it. And there's actually a lot of apps that you can find. Like if you just type in CBT on your
Mhm.
phone on your app store, you'll find a bunch of different ones where it's just short journaling sessions. And if you're having that negative thought, it'll have you question that thought and reframe it. And the more you continue to practice that, the more automatic that thought is, the new thought, I should say. So, what I really love about CBT is that as time has gone on, I haven't needed to like go to my phone and journal this thing out, just been able to automatically be like, "Oh, remember, we did already disprove that like a long time ago. So, this is our new thought now." And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dang, Jenny, that was really good. I feel like I need to go back and do that, be like, "Why?" Just, like, sit down and just be like, "Well, why? Well, why?" Just, like, sit here and just write it every word, "Why?" That was so good. Yeah, because you really are getting to source, and then one thing that I mean, there's just so many good little nuggets here, but you are a person that has thoughts, like, you have thoughts. You are not thoughts, like,
Mm,
I can write the program, like, I can say, like, "No, that's a lie, like, w stop thinking that." Like, you don't have to believe everything you think, and
yeah.
so what's that experiment? It's like, close your eyes and yell in your head or, like, yell as, like, high as you can, and it's like, "Oh, did you do that?" And it's like, "Yeah, I did it." I don't know if you guys wanna, like, take a break right now, close your eyes, and then, like, just, like, hear yourself yell or, like, say, "I love you," or, like, close your eyes and find the letters, like, in text, "I love you." Can program your brain and you can tell it to do things or say things. So you run the code
So,
and you're
reminding yourself you're in control.
yeah, versus
Yeah.
like when I'm anxious or I have these thoughts, I'm like, wait a minute, like, girl, hold up. Like, are you letting it control you or do you run the script? Like, what's going on? That was so good, Jenny. That was so good. That was so good. I'm like, everybody needs a Jenny in their life. I'm sorry, there's only one, and I have her. So I'm like, ah. Evil genius coming out, and I'm like, haha, she's already taken. She shares custody with Kyle and I. Uh, so, Jenny, for anyone that was like us in our early 18, 19-year-old selves, undergrad, like what tip do you have for them in finding themselves? Because you and I have
Oh,
had to do a
man.
lot of that, like being ourselves, finding ourselves, redefining ourselves, losing
Yeah.
ourselves.
Man, that's a good question because I think back to my 19-year-old self and like on one hand, I just want to give her a hug because
Mhm,
she went through a lot. And then on the other hand, I'm like, "Girl, you were such a silly goose." Like the other day I found a bunch of old pictures and videos on an old cell phone that I had, and
mhm,
I was watching them and I was like, "Oh my god, I was just a menace to society." It's just like videos of me and my cousin like going around the mall and just like being annoying, really. So I guess I would say have fun with your newfound
mhm,
freedom because I think when you're 19 or 18, the whole world has just opened up to you and you feel
mhm,
invincible. Invincible. So like tap into that because as you get older, you're not going to always feel that way. You're going to have those moments for sure, but I think when you're that age, like you just don't have any concept of the future. You're just really present and it's a really beautiful thing. On the other hand, I would say just do your best. Like give yourself
mm,
grace. Don't be so hard on yourself for the things that you haven't accomplished yet
mhm,
and don't get mad at yourself for the mistakes that you're making because you are so young. You're a baby adult. I don't know if you've ever heard that concept of like when you turn 18, you're like a newborn adult. So like now that I'm 29, I'm like I don't know, I guess like a 9-year-old or like an 11-year-old adult, if that makes
mhm.
sense. It's a new phase of your life. And so you're going to have a lot of stumbling moments, just like when you did when you were a baby. You had to learn how to walk and you
Mhm.
fell a lot, but nobody got mad at you then because you were doing a brand new thing and it was new and exciting. So try to look at it from that perspective instead of being feeling like you need to have everything figured out because you really
Mhm.
don't. And that mindset of thinking that you do need to have everything figured out, that can take you so much away from the present moment. And being present is the most important thing when it comes to this lifetime because that's all we have. Like
Yeah.
technically the past and the future is not existent, like, because it's not here
Yeah.
anymore and it hasn't happened yet. So just be
Yeah.
present, like live with yourself, be comfortable with yourself, take a deep breath, feel this moment.
Wow, Jenny, that was so powerful. I feel like I need you to say that again. I'm like, the present is all we have. The past is gone and the future is not there yet. Like we
Yeah.
have right now, like God forbid, but something could happen after this podcast. Oh my God, I don't even want to say that. But like something could happen to me and be like, well, there she was. Glad she uploaded that before she
Oh,
bounced. Oh my God. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Like the past is gone and the future is uncertain. We don't know if we're in it. I hope I am in it.
yeah.
But you're right, like this is all we Jenny just came on here and just
Getting
dropped
all
some thoughts,
philosophical.
everyone. Yes. I hope people watch this on a Monday. We're like, oh my God, this is all I have. I just have today.
Is it a
Um,
motivational Monday or an existential crisis Monday?
Yeah, honestly. So, Jenny, with that said, where do you want to lead to next? So, like, what is coming next for you? Like, what ventures do you have? Who do you want to be? I mean, you've been a student, you've been a coach. Like, Jenny was a coach for Orange Theory team. If you didn't know this, you've been a personal trainer. You've been doing nutrition work and helping me out with my nutrition because she was there when I was going crazy with like caffeine. You've worn so many hats. You've been a blogger. You've been Disney Cruise Line and worked at a actual like Disney resort. Like you've had so many job titles, worn so many hats, done so many things. Now you're on this new entrepreneurship venture. And what else like are you hoping to accomplish? Like, let's say we follow up with you in 6 months or a year. Where can we see you? What can we expect? Where are you going?
Yeah. So a year from now, I'm hopefully married. Well, I'll be preparing because my wedding is in October of 2026. So I'm very excited for that. And then career wise, I hope I'm thriving as a real estate agent. Having just moved here about a year ago, I'm still building that clientele, and that is
Mm-hmm.
100% okay. But I really want to get things rolling and get things on a more consistent level so that I can automate some things and be able to start building the life of my dreams. Eventually, I would love to make passive income so that I can be a stay at home mom. And I really, this is something that Val and I have talked about recently, is that I really want to start making art again.
Mm-hmm.
I was an art major for like 2 semesters in college. And over the years, I have continued to be an artist. I just don't create as frequently as I would like. Like I will literally I'll make a painting like once every quarter. And even then like there's some paintings that I still have right now that are like literally 2 years in the works, but because I just don't paint as frequently, it just is taking a lot longer for me to actually finish it. But I've been
Mm-hmm.
working on drawing more frequently and just getting comfortable with being seen, 'cause I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing that I've struggled with over the years is I'm too scared what people think. Like that's literally what it is. And I am ready to open up my wings. I'm ready to show my voice. I'm ready to be heard and be seen and show off my artwork, and maybe one day I can start selling it. I just want to be my most authentic self, and it might not look exactly what I've pictured, but I think that through all of the things that I'm doing, like with real estate and the mentorship that I have in real estate and networking and building a community here, all of those things have brought me so much confidence in the last few months and so much just life experience that I feel excited and ready to take on some new things. And I guess one thing that I've realized through becoming a realtor is I am doing so much to build my business and I'm putting so much out there. Why can't I do that for myself? And so that's kind of
Yes.
given me this second wind and been like, you know what? Yeah, I am going to put my art out. I am going to show my personality more online because I love who I am and I love
Mhm,
connecting with other people and I want to share the things that I learn with other people. Like it's
mhm.
fun for me. So why not, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree, and I love that you said that because it's so easy to do it for other people or do it for an agency or a company because been there, same, done that. Like I've built social media accounts and had them running and then left them. Or like I've been running a social media account for work. So I'm like, if I can do this and get paid for it, and if I can do this for someone else, like why am I not doing it for myself? So then I'm just like I'm actually like people are gonna come in and out because I don't think a job title is forever. There's seasons and reasons and like people leave and come back. But what's that quote? And it's like you are the project of your lifetime or you are the project you will continue to work on.
Mm.
Like no one's gonna work on Val other than Val. So Val
Yeah.
deserves to give Val a shot. So Val should do these things for Val, regardless if somebody's gonna pay her or not. She's doing it for herself.
Yeah.
So yes, I think you owe it to yourself to do that, and I'm really excited. So, Jenny, we've been keeping a secret.
Yes, we
And
are.
like suspense, just like we've been keeping a secret. So, do you want to tell the audience what we've been working on?
Yes. So Val and I are creating a new podcast. Don't worry, Deep Naked Thoughts is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But her and I are going to be co-hosting a new podcast. It is called Conscious Con Madres. So conscious, obviously, because we have conversations like this, and comadres because she's my comadre. And if you don't know what a comadre
Yes.
is, the word I was actually teaching this to Kyle the other day. He was like, "What? What's a compa?"
My
So
homie.
okay, to kind of explain it to those who might not know, anytime you have, so say for example, Val had a daughter and I was her daughter's godmother. That would make Val and I comadres. But as time has kind of gone on, the term has become a little bit more of a slang term and just kind of referred to like my friend or my really good friend. So we have these conversations all the time on Snapchat, like I mentioned earlier. And we were like, dang, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast. So that is the
Mhm.
name of our podcast. At this moment, we do not have a page yet, but don't worry. We're creating some things.
Mhm.
So if you do want to find us right now, you can find Val where you found this podcast. And you can find me at the dot Jenny, spelled Jeni dot B. And we'll be posting some clips and fun things over there. So I'm very excited.
I am so excited too because yes, like Jenny was saying, we've had conversations and we're like, man, this really could help someone. Or like, man, somebody needed to hear this. Or just like a reality show. I'm like, man, I wish cameras were rolling. Like that was so
Yeah.
good.
Or we'll
I'm
joke
like,
around and
no,
we'll be like, okay, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
thanks for coming to my TED Talk. And so we're like, Jenny, we have to put like somebody needs this.
Yeah.
So you guys can go follow both of us there. And I'm excited for that. Jenny, any closing thoughts that you have or anything you want to leave the audience before we head out?
I would just say have faith in yourself. Life is hard. Life is really freaking hard sometimes. Again, sometimes the only way out is through, but just remember how strong you've been in the past and
Mhm,
the fact that you've made it out of some of those tough situations before. And just like you've been
mhm.
able to do before, you can do it again. So just keep swimming. Just keep swimming, just like Dory said.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was amazing. I will leave you guys with that. I honestly don't feel like I could get like add on to that. That was just like a really good way of closing everything. I am gonna check Jenny's info. So if you want to go follow her, you can click the link down below and it'll send you to where she's at. And that's it. Thank you everyone. Thank you for watching Deep Naked Thoughts. We will see you next time.